Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store, right? This is why you don't have any type of economic wealth that generates, right? There's an article that we oftentimes reference that talks about the wealth disparity, the wealth gap, which continues to broaden. And it's going to broaden even further when this baby boomer generation passes. There was an article that talked about the wealth disparity between the Israelites and Edomites, where it would take 226 years for so-called quote-unquote black and brown wealth to catch up to white wealth. Now that disparity of 226 years, that doesn't even factor in all of the laws and legislations and tactics that this man does covertly to usurp your ability to actually build wealth. So that, again, that 226 years, that continues to broaden. You know, you have anomalies that come up every so often where Jake is actually able to try and build some wealth. You know, they have to be like a fucking athlete or something.
And even with that, it's still not going to transfer over, you know, long term.
Right.
Because, like you mentioned, Esau is putting all these different legislations in place to where it's handicapping. Like one of the things that Trump needed to big people build, you know, passed, he's saying like when your parents die, you can no longer inherit the house. That goes back to the government. So that just using that as an example to show you that he's stripping out all chances to leave Jake on equal footing with Esau.
Right, and that's a major wealth transfer right there. Home ownership.
Right.
You know?
Deuteronomy 28 and 17. Cursed shalt thou be cursed shall be the basket of thy store, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Right, so from your birth to your passing, you're just experiencing the curses that the Lord had put upon the Israelites due to disobedience. Right? So again, when we come into this understanding of the truth of the scriptures, this is good news for us, man. Because the problems that we faced as a people for so long, trying to make sense of these situations and these obstacles that are put in front of us, these curses that we face that makes our lives as Israelites in this society seem like obscure, right? It gives sense and credence to why we face the problems that we do, right? It was a video, I believe, channel of the brother GMS Get This Work. I believe he's out there in Cali, but he shared a video of this TikTok influencer that was basically like saying, so to speak, in so few words, like the experience that the Israelites, he didn't say Israelites, but the black and browns experience in this society is some other shit. Like there has to be some type of divinity to these people because of what they've experienced. And when we come into this understanding of this gospel, it provides us that clarity that we've been seeking for so long. And you're not going to get that from any other source in this world. Only place that you're going to get that from is by coming back and believing this gospel, repenting. It's a continual process. It's not a one-time thing. But you have to start somewhere first. And it starts with your subjection, your will to just bow the knee. You know? And that really falls on the grace of the Lord. Also.
Yeah. Because like you mentioned, it's a precept that goes into like what nation has suffered like what Israel has went through. You know, because everything that Esau Edom has put in place to keep Israel, you know, down like this, it was done on purpose. All right. Like we was talking about, you know, the quote unquote deep state.
Yeah, I know.
These people that run society, these devils, they did a intricate plan to put together to keep to where the nation of Israel cannot prosper deeply in this society. But you gotta think about it. The amount of so-called black millionaires, so-called billionaires, you know, these celebrities that got this money, where's the transference of wealth down to their generation, you know, their children's children, all that, man. Because when you look at when these niggas die, like you have Prince, you know, Floyd Mayweather Sr., these guys of influence, when they die, they're not left with nothing. They die with crumbs in their hand. But they amass millions of dollars in their lifetime. Where's that money going? It's going back to Esau, man.
doxxed, and now they got hella fucking post what's it called when people die? No, not a death tax, but basically post-hominous, and then they'll get brought into the courts and shit. Niggas trying to make all type of claims in the settlement courts, you know, and that kills the wealth even further.
Yeah. And then like and they have all these contract stipulations to where their kids can't even touch that money, man.
Right.
You know, so it's just showing you that this shit is hell. Micah 2:10. Arise, you depart, for this is not your rest, man. All right? This place was not meant for Jake to build generational wealth. So we're in 2025. You still hearing niggas talk about generational wealth, man. They're in delusion, man.
Right.
All right? The American dream is dead.
Right.
All right? Wake the fuck up, man.
Right.
You know?
I got a quick. You had called it. I'll just read it right quick. Lamentations chapter 2 and verse 13, reading in the NLT, it says, "What can I say about you? Who has ever seen such sorrow? O daughter of Jerusalem, to what can I compare your anguish? O virgin daughter of Zion, how can I comfort you? For your wound is as deep as the sea. Who can heal you? Your prophets have said so many foolish things, false to the core."
Right, because you look at what it said amongst our people, all right, with these false dreams and whatnot. You know, they tell you shit that to get your mind in a state of continuance here. Like you think that you're gonna be able to prosper, your kids, they're gonna be good years on down the line. But as we're bringing out, man, America is down. It's in a downward spiral. It's like what's it called when the plane is going down? It's in a nosedive, man. And you can't see what Trump is doing, all right? Trump is making it to where you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you have no possible way of getting yourselves out the hole that they put you in, man. Right. All these different things that big beautiful bill is pretty much saying is to pretty much put Jake in a bottleneck while he's trying to raise up Esau again, man.
Right. And if I may add too, Jake will try and have this opinion of, well, this is just this administration. We'll be able to finally overcome when we have a new administration. But you Jakes aren't acknowledging the problem that this system at its core, when we talk about systematic oppression, systemic racism, the whole facet of this whole hegemony is to oppress you, right? To drive you down and grind you down to the very dust.
Right.
You see? So again, rereading.
If I can add one more thing, because like you said earlier, there has to be some type of divinity to these people, because why are we getting done like this out of all the other nations on the planet? Because there it is, America is known as the melting pot. All right, we got all these other nations, the Edomites, Hamites, Israelites, on down the line, all the ice over here. But why is it just the so-called Black Latino Native Americans that face the most financial hardship? They go through the most, persecution dealing with the different laws, police and all that, man. It's a reason for that, man. And it all stems back to the God of the Bible putting these curses on us, man.
Right. That's the only conclusion. People will try and justify everything that's happening in the context of this world, but that's the problem. You have to come to the understanding that this was a divine judgment. If you try and look at it from the outside looking in, like, well, we were just overtaken. Nigga, how? Do you see these Edomites? Do you see the stupidity that flows through their brains as being the rulers today? You think that they was actually able to do that on their own?
And look at you. Look at the greatness that you're able to do in this little state. And you telling me all the great shit that they've done, all the inventions and different things that we've done for the just America alone, not even looking at our history outside of this place. Right. And we're still disenfranchised people. We're still the bottom of the totem pole. We're the lowest of the low here. That shows you there has to be something keeping us down, man.
I'm going to continue on in the Lamentations. Lamentations 2 and 15. All who pass by jeer at you. They scoff and insult beautiful Jerusalem, saying, "Is this the city called most beautiful in all the world and joy of all the earth?"
Yeah, you look at so-called Black Latino Native Americans in over here in America, and you like, hey, look at these niggas, man.
Right.
Like, hey, GMS Charlotte, we have a saying down here. Have you seen niggas lately? Hey, Jake Black's worse and worse by the day, man. So when we got come out here and prophesy that you are the chosen people of the Bible, the world looks at us like, how? Look what you niggas doing.
House,
Yeah, you niggas tattooing your face up.
Right.
Niggas, you the main gender benders. You know, you're the thug, the thought. You know, you're the problem of the earth. Let Esau tell you, but yet you're still God's chosen people. You know, that shows you that it's a thumb that's put on top of us to keep us like this.
Yeah, that's the scriptures that said that our people will be in astonishment.
Right.
You know, so that's part of that, man. You know, hey, look up astonishment.
Because like I say, just using that, adding on to what we said earlier, that shows you the greatness that we have because we stand out in righteousness and in wickedness, man.
Just curious.
Astonishment in the Edom Online Dictionary reads, state of being amazed or shocked with wonder.
Yeah. Shocked with wonder. Hey, that's how we are as people.
Yeah.
You know?
It says, when you go to astonish, it says to stun, strike senseless, to stun, daze, deafen, to leave someone thunderstruck.
Get that in Proverbs when it says the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. But the wicked seduce him. That's Proverbs 12, I want to say. So that's it right there. Right? Jake would be an astonishment. Going back to the curse, how can you be like you said, both spectrums, you know? We the righteous people, but at the same time we excel in wickedness too. Yeah. Shit is crazy.
They show you the power of the mind, which is why Esau is the ultimate psychopath, man. When you go into what a psychopath is, and somebody, if you look at that word, I know it deals with the mind, but hey, Esau has studied and mastered the concept of how the human mind works. You know, that's why one of the main talking points in science is what? Dealing with the brain. That's why the whole thing with this AI and the microchip is all about the control of the brain, because what sits in the middle of your brain is your pineal gland, man. All right, what they call the mind's eye, which is your connection to your power, man. You know, so he figured out how to master that to make it to where if you can control what influences someone, all right, then you pretty much can make them however you want.
You master how to corrupt your spirit.
Exactly.
This is the definition of psychopath in the Free Dictionary. It says, a person afflicted with a personality disorder, characterized by a tendency to commit antisocial and sometimes violent acts, and a failure to feel guilt for such acts.
Right, and that's what Esau has done, is warp your mind to accept the ways of wickedness as acceptable. All right, because we have a natural inclination towards righteousness, man.
Right.
When it shows you that, because even Jake, you know, in our state now, we still have compassion. And you see a fucking Edomite bumped out, you're like, damn. You feel something like, yo, even though we still have that natural hatred to him, but it's like Apostle Hart made that comment a couple weeks ago. He said the Edomite was broke down on the side of the road. He was like, I kind of wanted to help him. And I was like, nah, fuck that nigga. You know, but it's just natural for us to be like that, man. You know, but Esau has warped it to where our people are the most demonic, demons now. You know,
they didn't say what it was.
But get that for you. This is Proverbs 12:26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
Yeah, the righteous, going into the Israelites, is more excellent than his neighbor. We're the chosen people.
Right.
Deuteronomy 7:6. Go ahead.
But the way of the wicked seduces.
Yeah, so we've been seduced by the way of the Edomite, man. Jake has fully embraced the ideology, the mindset of Esau. Right? Niggas are literally walking Edomites today.
Yeah, their minds are taken. That's why when the brother read Lamentations earlier, the nation looked in amazement of how they was able to pretty much turn Jacob to these little monsters like that. Because one thing, it's in our people to naturally create. Esau's natural nature is to consume. So he has turned that ambition for Jake to create and use that for wickedness, man. So now you see Jake figuring out how to do everything to the most wicked of ways, man. Like you look at Jake's music, you know, Jake has figured out how to fucking rap about he made killing look sound good. And they figured out how to fucking do the drugs. Yep. You got a whole song about how to cook coke. Yep. You know all these different things. They make it cool.
Yeah, the YN is the perfect experiment crafted about Esau.
Hey, the niggas figured out how to put Satanism into music and make that shit hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Here it is, these niggas is making full demonic ass songs,
Right.
and you got niggas riding in their car bumping that shit.
Right. The YN is like Frankenstein. It's alive. Perfect
But
experiment.
hey, no, Elder Zahab, he the lesson on that. Jake is Frankenstein. When you read that book, Mary Shelley, I think her name, that wrote, Frankenstein is actually Jake. And he broke it down, and it makes sense. That mad science experiment, man. That's a nigga. And the YN is that pathetic. You know? Because you gotta look at it. How are these niggas able to walk around in 200 degrees weather in a fucking all black hoodie, big ass sweatpants, and a shaggy mask, man? And don't sweat.
That's it. That's amazing, bro.
These niggas be chilling, bro. I was at work the other day. I had to ask the nigga, like, bro, it's hot as fuck in there. These niggas got the whole rundown. Put the hood on, bro. I was like, bro, you ain't hot. Yeah, I'm hot as fuck. Why don't you take the shit off then, nigga?
I think that shit's so crazy.
There's something going on up
But
there.
it's them demons in them, though, man. You know? So that's just like I said, man. I read the
That's like the identity. Like that's the identity manifest.
Right.
You know? It's
Right.
like them spirits just take control over them. It's like, where's the nigga shiesty?
Yeah, bro. It ain't hot out here, man. It's gonna get hot when I get in there, though.
Nigga ain't got no enemies.
Right.
It's a video. This nigga had to be like 9 or 10. He had the shiesty mask on. His mom was like, what you doing? So I gotta go ride on my ox. He's like, nigga, you 9, bro. What ox you got? But it shows you the influence of what Esau has been able to do to take our people and make them like this. Man.
It's fucked up, bro.
It's Jeremiah 5:28. They are waxing fat, they shine. Yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge. Jeremiah 5:28. They are waxing fat, they shine. Yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked.
Yeah, they waxing fat and have overpassed the deeds of the wicked because Esau has incentivized Jake to pretty much excel at wickedness. So he blesses them to the optimal. Pretty much, he blesses them to pretty much excel in wickedness. And that's why you see these niggas on TikTok, especially these influencers of today's time, man. They're making bank promoting wickedness, man. Why do you think they have to hop on these streamers and all these niggas now? Because they see that they have the most influence for the minds of these younger Jakes.
Yep.
Why the fuck is Keith sweating? I'm freaking.
I'm sure it is, Kyle.
I think it was Kai Red, one of the movies.
And
I'll show you that.
I saw also about the streamers, the government is about to start using them to promote, different things that are.
I feel like Wake is small enough that
they have influence.
They already doing that. You know, this is just something that's been going on since social media became a thing.
Yeah.
You know, because they understand the power of the mind. And like it says, man, look at the Matthew 6 about the light of the eye. Because they have that saying, the eye is the window to the soul. So what you put your focus on is what you eventually going to, manifest in your spirit. As a man thinking, so he is. So Esau has put all this garbage out there for our people, and they're excelling at that.
Yeah, because what Jake is doing, he's consuming that shit.
You know? Matthew 6:22.
When I
The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy
the
body
church that
shall
I
be
go
full
to.
of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
Right, and that's why, and you see how society is now. It's a fight for what controls your eye, man. Distractions, all right. Because Esau understands if your body is full of light, all right. If your eye is constantly on scripture, trying to stay in the spirit, that's what you're eventually gonna gravitate towards, man. Is righteousness.
Right.
But if he can consume your thoughts with the bullshit, social media, the fucking the garbage that you see on TV, the bullshit out here, the club scene and all this other stuff, you're gonna be full of darkness, which is gonna keep you in the matrix, man. That's why you ain't gonna be knowing what's going on with what Trump, all these laws that Trump passed. You're not gonna have a clue what's going on as far as policy. That's not what concerns you. Because you're worried about the darkness of this world. You're worried about the matrix, man. The rat race.
That's why the scriptures say be sober, be vigilant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you get overtaken by this world, you're ultimately subjecting yourself to those wines,
Yeah.
the doctrines, the philosophies of this world, and you're going to drown your spirit out.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. Because you see how the majority of our people have no spiritual urgency.
Yeah, they have no biblical worldview.
You know.
Because all they're concerned about is the things of what's in front of them.
Yeah.
And I always quote that verse of Timothy about, she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. You get that in NLT, it says the woman given the pleasure is dead while she liveth. So these people are completely, through spiritually. Because they don't have any idea what's going on in the world, man. Hey, you hear these people admit that we're in the last days, but then we ask them, well, what you doing to prepare yourself for these end times? They're like, get money, nigga. That's all nigga knows, man. Like car, clothes, money, and money.
Fucking internet.
Right.
I listened to him.
Yeah. Crypto and generational wealth.
Yeah, bro. But that shit though, that's a means to an end. That if you following this whole the Genius Act that he just passed, he's talking about making America the triple capital of the world.
So,
bro, that lets you know that this shit is done with, bro. This is all MOTV talk from here on out, man. Because when you look at the direction that money's going, bro, it's gonna go from cash to digital, which is pretty much gonna be on the phone. They talking about they're gonna be wearing wearables, and then what? It's gonna go subdermal. It's gonna go in you.
I want to add to that point, if I may land back. Every economist that's talked about that Genius Act has akin that to the Federal Reserve being established in 1913 and when America left the gold standard. So they're pointing to this being that major of the pivotal turning point in the way how the world reserve currency is set up. Because like you said, from here on out, it's just MOTV talk. They are talking about digital currency being the currency of the future. And they've been talking about this for years, and the prophets have been warning, starting with our apostles and elders, for years.
yeah, full government control.
Yep.
And they're not hiding it. The video I seen yesterday, Trump literally told you, it's like, 6 months, another 6, another 6. This nigga, he put that shit in front of everybody's face, bro. This is the devil letting it be known, man. What's it say? The devil boasteth is pride from paraphrasing that. He's letting it be known, like, yo, this agenda is full on. Matter of fact, that article I sent when he said that he's bringing a new order. Can you get that real quick? You got something?
Oh, yeah. This is Psalms 21 and verse 8. It says, thine hand shall find out all thine enemies. Thy right hand shall find out those that hate thee. All right, also, going into, essentially these scriptures, his word, essentially exposing Esau even his plans. Continuing on, it says, thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger, talking about the ICBM missiles. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Their fruit shalt thou destroy from the earth, and their seed from among the children of men. For they intended evil against thee, talking about the NWO, to where, Trump is going into bringing in the Karagma. All right. It says, they imagine a mischievous device, all right, the Karagma, which they are not able to perform, so this devil is going to be able to get his plans out to full fruition.
Yeah, because he's gonna set up the infrastructure. All right, as we're seeing America heading towards this, this digital era. Shit, we're already in the beginning stages of it. So, like brothers been saying, brothers might have to, dabble with that shit. You might have to wear the wearable. You might have to use the damn, the app. Remember Real ID and the Fed now and all that. That shit's still in place. So we might have to use that, but it comes to a stop when they start talking about putting that shit on the
play off against each other for
we ain't going there. Forbid that.
Yeah, use the word or not abuse it, right?
Exactly. And that's why it's important for you to have, some balance with this too, because you got a lot of these simple jakes. They talking about well, I'm gonna attach myself to the nigga. You gotta survive.
Franz Fanon was right.
Hey, it's coming. It's coming, man. The Lord's gonna give it to us.
He said you all should have your own country, not to put this shit from out.
spirit. That was the spirit on
That's
that.
the Lord.
Damn.
Confirming what we're saying. It's coming though.
That's literally.
Lord gonna bring it to us. Yeah.
Hey, it's like you did that lessons upon that shameful spewing.
Yeah.
You know, everybody is starting to realize, oh man, this nigga, he's a terrible king.
Yeah.
Nobody want to do
But
this.
that's the spirit though. That's Job 33 and 14. Most I speak of one day twice, and then man will not. Because the spirit, yes, we will have our own places. And it's going to be on this earth, all right? And we're going to rule all of the world, man. All right? That was the angel speaking to us.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's going to the Lord.
That's it. You got to go.
This is the article from End Time Headlines, dated July 19th, 2025. National security elites accept Trump is creating a NWO. At the 2025 Aspen Security Forum, held against the scenic backdrop of the Aspen Meadows Resort, national security elites grapple with the profound shift, a global order ushered in by President Donald Trump's second administration. According to Politico, 6 months into his term, attendees, including former and current U.S. and foreign officials, business leaders, and analysts, acknowledge that the post-World War II consensus on free trade and long-term international cooperation has been irrevocably altered. As former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, co-chair of the Aspen Strategy Group, stated during the closing panel, we have to recognize that we're probably not going back to exactly that system.
Yeah, the old world is done. All right? What you are used to, C-19, as you can see, 5 years after this shit, there's no more that. There's no 4 years.
Continuing on, it says, the forum, a hallmark event for national security discussions, saw a notably reduced presence from the Trump administration. The Pentagon labeling the conference a den of globalists, with Jewish speakers the day before the event, leaving only Adam Boehler, Trump's special envoy for hostage release, as the sole administration representative after the U.S. Embassy to Turkey, and Syria envoy Tom Barak also pulled out following Israel strikes on Syria. Jumping down, it says attendees express a mix of resignation and cautious optimism about Trump's sweeping changes to trade, aid, and military policy.
Yeah, because we're seeing that Satan is divided right now. The Edomites are waking up to the fact that Trump lied, right? And MAGA is since he brought Elon Musk into his cabinet, man. MAGA has been at odds with each other because these Edomites realize that Trump isn't for the government anymore, man. He's doing full Israel bidding now.
Yeah, they're also divided on the fact that y'all niggas not getting the Epstein files. You're not getting the full. Man, they did itself.
Yeah, man, but it show you that was never gonna come out because this nigga he's on the text too.
They say he on the text freaking out.
It show you how dumb this shit is. This nigga went on camera and blamed Obama.
Yeah.
This nigga Obama is an afterthought at this point. But you gonna throw that on him and Clinton, Biden? All y'all niggas is there, bro.
Both sides involved, Democrat, Republican, all of them devils, presidents, Obama, Bush, Trump, Clinton, all them niggas freaking off the little boys and little girls, man.
So,
right?
That was a saving face moment. That's all that was.
And this is America, right?
Right.
God
Because
damn.
what these Edomites like to bring up, but it's true, is the sex trafficking and child trafficking. That's one of America's highest
Yeah,
cash.
$10 billion a year.
So they're not going to expose that.
I did a video on it exposing how they generate $10 billion a year, and YouTube flagged the video. So let you know it was true.
No, but it goes to show you that. Real quick, Revelation 18. We'll talk about the human souls because that's one of the main reasons that these nations are going to mourn American destruction.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll jump down to the point. He says,
In fact, get that real quick.
It's Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 3, or verse 2. And it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. They shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
Right, and this is all, being stirred up with what Trump is doing in office, man. Because what the Lord wants to happen is that great divide in America, which is why we read about coming to Yahushua, one of the signs are going to be, war, the rumors of war. There's going to be a civil war in here, which is why, that last year, 2 years ago, they got that movie Civil War out. And what was the main talking point? Everybody was talking about that movie. They were asking, but what type of American are you? And for the Republic, for the Democrat, where was your allegiance at before these countries went to shit? They know what side they feel. Because a lot of these Edomites, outside of the whole thing with the technocrats, the whole thing with ICE, the direction that Trump was moving, that's what the Edomites are in different races. Because they're seeing that, our country is lost. And they're using Jake as a scapegoat, but Esau is doing that because of his misplaced anger. Because they're mad at Trump, but that hatred that he has for Jake is that outlet that he's using to bring that out.
Yeah, the right-wing Edomites really thought that it was America first. That was just a ploy. Yeah. Now they really see that, look, Trump is just like the rest of them. They're all 40 elites. They're globalists, right? Yeah, they're puppets, man. So now, hey, that hardcore right-wing Edomite, all right, he's like, look, the hell, it's time to do it for ourselves.
Yeah, because the ones that's real gung-ho for that Constitution, in the Constitution it states that if the government becomes tyrannical, that they have the ability to take up arms and fight against the government. And they're about to do that. This is why you're seeing these different paramilitia groups starting to form together, all right, form a military, different things like that, because they're getting ready to go to war, man.
That's it.
Second Ezra chapter 15. And verse 6.
Proud Boys, these are all different things that are setting up for this fight.
Yeah, neo-Nazis and all that, all these different fight clubs. All that, they say all this shit is popping up all over America.
You even had to where pretty much they had some of those groups where they were training pretty much Edomites together, but they had civilians too, like nurses and doctors and stuff like that. So they understand that the times they're in right now. Not about to say pretty much they understand that we're in a time of civil war.
Yeah, because it's gonna come back to that prophecy in Isaiah 13 about the every nation shall go back into their own.
Right.
Second Ezra 15 and verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another.
Yep.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes.
Yeah, that's the point where America is headed to. Yeah. They're not going to regard any authority, no law and order. All right? Go ahead.
And you're seeing that now. The fact that when Trump was going with ICE, that so-called beef that he had the mayor over in California, they was like, look, this is our jurisdiction. Let us handle that. He was like, no, fuck that. Nigga, if you keep talking shit, I'll lock your ass up, man.
Carrying a mask.
That's just going to show you, brother. It's going to get to a point. They're going to be like, fuck you.
And in the spirit, not that it probably mattered, but I always thought that it would come after her when she kind of like had our back. When it was, the Israelites, they had, she was grilling the FBI agent, and he had brought up the Israelites. And she's like, yeah, I know about them very well. And basically, she was like, look, they're not causing no harm, And she was deflecting all that she was saying. So I was thinking, man, they might get at her for that shit.
I'm not mistaken. Think about like the white ones.
Yeah, that she was getting on the white groups, saying like basically the Israelites ain't causing the problem. So what are you talking about?
What about them?
Yeah, what about them? So in my mind, I was like, they might try to get her one day for that shit. So you see what's happening now. So I thought that was spiritual.
No, I remember you saying at one point that the Lord's going to use people like that, different police, different people to stand for Israel.
That's it. You got sleeper cells,
right?
Sleeper cells in the military and the FBI, all the different groups and shit like that. City council, politics. All right, that know what we're saying is true.
Yeah, because you had, back in the ancient world, different guys in opposition, like Cornelius, for example. That was in Roman army, in different, political fields.
Yeah.
Rome, that was for Israel's cause.
Yep. Acts 17 talks about the devout Greeks.
Yeah.
Israelites that had position in that realm at that time.
Right.
Same thing now, celebrities and shit.
Hey, for example, what was it? Luke, Mark, that was
I feel like
he was taxi. Mark, yeah, you know, that was a high position. Lord, you turn it into a problem. Yeah, yeah.
You had the individual that had made Yahweh separate.
Yeah.
Secret disciple.
Yeah, the went got his body. Yep.
And you think about Daniel. Daniel was in a high position. You know, it might be secret disciples in these high positions that they just following along, but they just kind of lay on the back.
And they went in the back.
That's how the Lord got things set up. Because it's at the end of the day, truth is being declared.
Yeah. And everybody's position isn't to be on the front line.
Back to 2 Ezra 13 and verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
Yeah, of course, the actions should stand in their own power, man. So you're gonna have, like we're talking about, you're gonna have these right-wing Edomites to say, "Fuck it, man." You know, and they see that whoever they put in office is strictly for the elites. It's not about America. America's not first. All right. So now, hey, they just gonna take matters in their own hands.
Yeah, we gotta take our country back.
There you go.
In the words of these people out here. You know?
If I can land that while you get that, I did a response to your lesson earlier, Zaquan. Basically, what people are having to realize and come to grips with this particular administration, that there is no deep state.
Right.
This is just the state. This is just the Edomite hegemony. This is just the government. There is no deep state. All of these people are involved in the inner workings of this system, operating in the dysfunction that it is.
Hey, to answer you, what it is this is the state of Israel being established over here too.
Yes.
That's all that is, man. Because their policies, their wants, America, Trump and these guys, they're bringing it in over here.
Oh yeah.
So, like you said, there's no deep state anymore.
All the way down.
You know,
Yeah.
it's Israel establishing these look, I ain't gonna say it's the Amalekites establishing their hegemony. Man.
That's why not the rant, but that's why those Edomites were mad. They was like, "Oh, Trump gonna take down the deep state. You know, he's for America." Just to find out he part of the program.
Hey, that video you showed, that nigga showed his allegiance years ago when he was murdered.
Oh yeah.
And he is secret Judas, you know, whatever you call this shit.
Yeah, Judaism.
Judaism, you know?
Yeah.
Niggas had that
First Jewish president.
Yeah.
that gif when bro like
Yeah. Wires. Yeah.
niggas said, "Whoa, hit me with the okie doke."
Right, and the Epstein files was like the icing on the cake.
Oh yeah.
Once they was like, "Look, we're not giving it to y'all niggas," they all hell broke loose. Like, oh
That
shit.
show you because that, because you know, Epstein was an Amalekite.
Yeah.
You know,
Assad.
and so he was running. He was like the money guy for them.
Yeah, the runner. Yep.
You know, so if they was to expose that shit, that would turn everything upside
Exactly.
down, man.
And they said he's supposed to be dead, but his accounts are still moving millions of dollars.
Now, when it came out, they said this nigga, they sent guys like him to an island. It was like all the niggas that's supposed to be dead, they get sent to that island. They live out the rest of their lives and see.
Yeah, the inner workings of this devil is real. It's
For
real
DC,
nasty.
They had a picture of that nigga on the boat after he's supposed to die. They had
I don't know.
and he said that in his little rant that he did on Twitter. He said that everything's still alive, bro. So he told him this thing. You know what? Trump is retarded, bro.
Yeah, this shit is crazy, man.
Yeah, the scripture, this is prophecy. That tongue is falling on you.
Yeah, man.
And we just sit back and laugh.
Hey, they got the right guy in office.
Yeah.
2 Ezra 15 and 16 in the Good News Translation. It reads, there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government.
And that's what's going on, man. Because this deep turmoil all the way up to the top.
Yeah. It's all types of in-house fighting.
Esau, Edom has been infighting with themselves going back to the beginning.
Yeah.
You know? Because these devils can't agree on nothing, man. That's why they're doomed to fail. You know, a house divided amongst itself cannot stand.
That's it.
You know? So the elites are divided because these devils all got the same plan of bringing this new order, but they all got their own way of wanting to do this. This is why, like when you watch the prequel to the Kingsman movie, they showed you the four brothers.
Yeah.
They showed that. Like yeah, the mother of the Rothschild, she said it. If my son did not want war, there'd be no war. You know?
So Revelation chapter 18 and verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
This is after Babylon's going to be destroyed, man. Because all nations are going to witness this place go up in smoke. All right, and that's when that sadness is going to befall them because you can't milk the horn no more. You know? Okay?
Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is thy judgment come.
1 hour. Because as long as it took Esau to establish his kingdom, all right, in 1 hour, the Lord is going to destroy this place.
Would be nicer and kinder.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Right, that's all these different nations that do trade with America. Because America is 100% export. All right, they don't make anything of their own. This place got it's like info, man. You know, they got all their merchandise from other countries. Man. That's why when Trump started doing them sanctions and all this stuff, that hurt here because America doesn't make nothing. You know, so that's why when China was on TikTok exposing all the shit that you niggas spending $200 in Jordan, $600 on fucking Birkin bags and Hermes and all that shit. Designer brands, they showed you, look, these people are paying $6, $10, $20 for the same shit to get sent over here, and we're that's nothing to us, you know. So these nations, when America is destroyed, they're gonna wail and lament because they're not gonna be able to pimp this place anymore. Their main breadwinner is gonna be gone. Man.
Revelation 18 and 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and of iron and marble, and cinnamon and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men.
Slaves and souls of men. But the reason why America got great mainly was off of the backs of the Israelites and the fact that they're able to sell us and use us for these different things amongst other nations. Right? Noel Stream 3, for example. Right? All right, the transatlantic slave trade, the Dutch slave trade, the Arab slave trade, the main commodity these nations use to get rich with us.
Yeah, like you said, the sex trade, the sex trafficking shit. They selling children. They're taking their blood. They're taking their organs. They're taking their melanin, right? All of that's tied into that, man. Kids, thousands of kids are dying, man. Grievous deaths, rituals, sacrifices, right? You know?
Or if they're not killing them, they're using them to do these different things.
Come on,
like
man.
These different industry plants that you see them using to influence Jake. These are people that they got sold into the industry and they raised up from an infant to do their bidding, man. You know, that girl Ali Carter that she exposed that stuff, man. You know, these celebrities will literally have children and give them to the elite so that they can use them. Like I said, some of them they use to sacrifice, the other ones they raise them up to either be a sex slave, which is why you see a lot of these porn stars or whatnot, or just to be used for whatever reason they got.
And look how these celebrity kids grew up. You notice a lot of the, especially the males, they all grew up to be faggots, man. Jaden Smith, all right, Dwayne Wade's son, right? Who else? Magic Johnson's son, right? He be on Kobe, right? All these celebrity sons be fucked up, man.
That's why the one dude said, that's why LeBron don't want to retire. They know they're going to want Bronny.
Oh yeah. He gonna have to give up something.
He might get with Bryce.
Yeah, might give up Bryce. Shit crazy.
But that's the misfortune of this whole hegemony. When you try to get in. It's no point.
But that's why we were going back to what you were talking about earlier, bro. There's no way that Jake can legitimately spread any type of generational wealth because Esau requires something from him. And if you strike somebody's virginity, the semen, progeny, that strips them from being able to spread their legacy. You know, which is why you see niggas like you talking about earlier, Floyd Mayweather talking about he can't feed his kids off next. Well, in the kingdom we will, because the elect children are going to be blessed. Man. All Israel's children are going to be blessed. But if you're going to be able to see like any of the 144,000, you're going to have a high, standard in the kingdom.
Matter of fact, get that. That's in Isaiah. I got it. Isaiah.
That's going to be a great honor, man.
Just real quick, this Wisdom of Solomon 5:7. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. Right? So this is what we're seeing taking place. Everybody trying to climb up the ranks, right? In Esau's kingdom, you have to, exhaust yourself in all manner of wickedness, man. Right? That's the only way to excel. That's why you see, these people, have all manner of demons on them, man. The further you get up that totem pole, right, the more evil you have to do, man.
You gotta pledge your allegiance at some point. I mentioned Bronny earlier, I forgot. And nigga, remember he got the 666 title behind his ear, bro. And he's already been compromised. That little heart attack scare that he had, that could have been just, a little sacrifice.
Why you not that
60. Bro, got it.
Isaiah chapter 61, verse 7. For your shame ye shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them. For I, the Lord Yahweh, love judgment. I hate robbery for burnt offerings. Excuse me. I will direct their work in truth, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people.
See that? So the offspring of the elect are going to be blessed. Right? Go ahead.
It says, all that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai have blessed.
Yeah, so that legacy, like Chris was talking about, that legacy is going to be a very big deal in the kingdom of heaven.
And that shows you, which is why we got something to work towards. Because here, you can't pass that. Only thing you pass to your children is death, man. But when you get into the jakes that sold to this society, they damn their children, man. Because you sacrificing your child, all right, you ain't actually got to kill them to sacrifice them. In fact, if you giving your child to homoism, you turn them into a damn demon worshiping Satanist, you're screwing them out of their life, man. Because what waits them is a hard judgment from the Lord, and that's your fault. Because as the parent, especially as the father, you're supposed to set the foundation in their life. Which is why at the end of the day, this is why the props are out here to set our people back on right. And he said, turn the heart of the father to the children to the heart of the father. Because you see the direction that our ancestors led us in, man. These old niggas telling you to trust the sisters, civil rights, that shit ain't do nothing for our people. That damage. Look at the damage that Martin Luther King did to the nation of Israel. Integration, that was the worst thing that happened with Jake, because what they don't want to tell you dealing with that is that Jake was prospering when we were integrated with Esau, man. We had the ABA, the Negro League, Black Wall Street, amongst the other different things, different societies that we had. This one is, we didn't need Esau, but see, it's the inclusion. These Kool-Aid niggas, they wanted to show you that, look, we need Esau, man. But we don't, because we have the Lord. And when our people trust in the Lord, you see what great benefits come from it.
And even in that, Esau realized they couldn't function in society without Jacob.
That's the thing.
That's why they kept you from going up north to get jobs, and kept you down here in the Jim Crow South.
And that's ultimately why they talk about go back to Africa. Well, Marcus Garvey was trying to let that happen. And what happened? They blocked it. They didn't want you to go back to Africa. Like you said, Esau understands how history works. When he studied and looked at the different captivities that Israel went and came out of, he noticed there was a chain of events. When Israel left those societies, they all collapsed. Egypt, Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome, all that. When Israel was liberated, that society fell, man. And America will be no different. That's why they would never let you niggas leave, man.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 16.
That's fulfilled in Jeremiah 15 and what, 33? They refuse to let them go.
Yeah. They understand the amount of power that Jake has. Like, we all speak about the power of the black dollar. If Jake understood the influence, like you hear Diddy and these different niggas talk about that, we lead our own money system and all that, but they will never let you have that because they understand that if we just stopped spending with Esau and kept all that shit to ourselves, we'd be lucrative like the Amalekites are. Right?
Case in point, that whole boycott with Target. A lot of Jakes have been pretty gung-ho about the fact that a lot of those DEI initiatives that were being stripped away from Target, they've been boycotting heavily to the point where the CEO had to start taking a pay cut. Because the amount of money that Jake was putting into that, Jake was actually serious about this one boycott.
Right on track.
Typically, niggas ain't serious. But niggas said, no, we ain't gonna shop at Target. And that shit has been doing a major blow to their revenue, quarter to quarter. It's just been going down.
And that's on a small scale. So just imagine that was, worldwide. But that's not gonna happen on this side because Jake is too far gone in society. They're not gonna give up.
You're too intertwined.
Yeah.
This man's system, you like the scriptures speak about. He will be the head, you will be the tail. There's no way you can go outside of this man's system.
Not that, and then, like I said, the mind state is too tight in this place. There's way more niggas with that Floyd Mayweather mentality. Like you remember whenever they were talking about boycotting Gucci because that blackface shit they had. They asked them, it was like, you ain't heard of them? They're talking about boycotting Gucci. It's like, look, they ain't never did nothing to me. I'm just gonna go buy. There's too many niggas with that mindset instead of the opposite. Man.
And it be the niggas with money. It be the niggas. Like I used to always think to myself, why it be these niggas with money? And then I realized coming into this truth, the money that these Edomites allow certain jakes to reach, they sift through them. They make sure that they're able to understand and they're like, listen, nigga, you're not finna come into this money and do whatever the fuck you do. You still in control. You still be in control. I'm still watching. Yep.
And that's why niggas like him gotta constantly show their allegiance to Israel. Niggas dropping bags over there. Niggas making speeches to him and all that shit. It's going over there. You got stuck for a little bit, But all that shit is showing you he know who his master is. Just like y'all other niggas.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Right? And by obtaining this wisdom, we understand the fate of which we faced coming through this hegemony. And that oppression it infuriates you.
It should.
Right.
They said if you're a wise man, you understand it like, bro, when we found out how money really works, how this society has done us, that shit should piss you off, bro. Because you work your ass off for nothing. For nothing, bro.
That's the tape.
And the problem is that you don't have shit. See, you have a little bit of problem. Hey, I need to take some of that.
You don't have no taxes you're paying to.
That shit is just words on paper. Right. You might as well not even talk about
Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
Right. The gift destroy the heart, as the scriptures say, just around wax fat and kick. A lot of these jakes that come into money, they'll eventually just become like shit. It don't matter. I'm outside of that strife that I beat poverty. The curse ain't on me, like we were speaking about at the beginning of the sermon. When you look at these jakes, it's like an anomaly. Like they are few and far between. But that mindset, it ultimately drives Jake further into this rat race of trying to see that as the status quo. I gotta get there.
Right.
So now you got all these Jakes. Like I saw this breakdown in the chart where it was talking about the average, like it went from like Kiwi football to NFL. And NFL careers past 4 years. It was like it started with 1 million and shit trickled down to like 150 people gonna make it past 4 years. But that mindset, it's a mindset that's rooted in Jake to where they're pursuing that money, that love of money.
But that's done on purpose because that is what exemplifies that crab in the bucket spirit. Where there's very few that make it because Esau, how they structure society, they handpick who they allow to make it. Because there's a lot of niggas that's more talented than they couldn't play the game. You know, me and this brother was talking a couple weeks ago dealing with the NBA. And South they were on that team podcast. And they was like, DC asked them, was like, yo, why are these niggas getting paid millions of dollars? These niggas ain't going out there and balling like this. It was like, this shit ain't just like no AAU game. You just go out there and ball. No, it's like, it's a system. Like, certain teams don't want you to win. Certain teams will literally just pay niggas to go out there and put up 50 stats. They can just put butts in the seat. They don't care about this shit. It's all just for show, man. Like here, Charlotte, this is the bottom of the barrel team out here, man. These niggas, they're never meant to be good. It's just to bring revenue into the city.
The word marketable says able or fit to be sold or marketed. And which pretty much is let me get it again. It says it's able to be fit or sold or marketed. It says merchantable or pretty much merchandise. So like you said, this is Atlanta traffic. So Esau uses it, even the entertainment industry to bring in revenue. So if you don't fit the qualifications and requirements to be marketable, you just get rid of you.
Yeah, that's why when we go back to Revelation 18 talking about the traffic of slaves and souls, this is why you gotta do those world tours. These regulators that have these niggas do these concerts all overseas, these sports teams that go play overseas and all that, because it's more stability and they're bringing to bring more revenue to the business, man. NBA, NFL, Universal, Motown, whatever the big name is. You got the employees, which is the different artists and employees and whatnot, that's bringing the money in, man. So if you can't provide viewership or entertainment for Esau, he's gonna throw you away. Like in get that in Sirach 13. About if he'll use you, then he'll throw you away. Because when you figure out how this thing works, it's all about what you do for Esau. And if you're not of any good to him, get rid of him. Because look, using the NBA reference again, look at all the players that Esau had on top. In the moment they were no longer viable for him, he got rid of, like Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose brought Chicago billions of dollars. He's a legend. He's probably the next legend that came out of Jordan. And look how quickly they discarded him after his body came out. Isaiah Thomas, the list goes on, man.
So Sirach 13 and verse 4 says, if thou be for his profit, he will use thee. Yep. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Yeah, like the example of the music industry. Look at all these one-hit wonder niggas that came and went, man. These guys were able to push out one major song that was influenced to destroy these niggas' minds, and they could never replicate the formula, man. And we're at a point now where Esau figured out that the attention span of Jake is so small that they can just keep bringing in these new guys, push out one song, move to the next one, man, because these niggas all have a purpose of just diluting their mind. So, like you mentioned earlier, that that very few that make it. That's why when you really go into it, a lot of the ones that make it is a term called nepotism. Majority of people in Hollywood is babies. Nepo babies. Hey, like these from the sports world, entertainment, these people are related. So they keep it like that because they don't want any and everybody to become famous. Now through the internet, that has been made a little bit better, but even with that, they determine who blows and who don't. On Sirach 13 and verse 5 it says, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it.
Yeah, Esau's always scouting to see the next guy that they can use. They're constantly watching the trends, all right, to see what's the next thing to look up. That's why when the streaming thing blew up, guys like Classic Night, DD, and other things, they're eventually kind of approached. Because if you got any type of influence, the Illuminati, quote unquote, is going to come find you. And you refuse to do business with them, you're only going to be able to go so far.
Yeah, they had a video of that nigga, the nigga name is Aiden Ross. He an Amalekite. But he's like the head ringer out of that whole streaming community. Yeah. But there was a meeting with him, Robert Kraft, and the Edomite that had a little baby in the little hug. he owns Fanatics, but there was a video that was on the stream. They were streaming it live, and he leaned over to Robert Kraft and said, "No, not Rick Rubin, Michael Rubin. But what? He leaned over to Robert Kraft and said, "No, he's you." And Robert Kraft, that nigga whole face lit up. He's like, "Oh, how are you?" Like it was like that whole little ensemble of like. There's a checks and balance to that whole system. Like you said.
Yeah, because what it comes back to is the flow of the dollar. Like I made mention of earlier. That dollar is always going to come back to an Amortized man. Like, there was a video that came out where this so-called Jew was talking to Jake. And he's like, see this dollar bill right here? This dollar bill will never get in your hand. Because when it goes out, it's always going to stay in our family.
Yeah, that's why we in that realm, athletics, entertainers, whatever, you always have an Amalekite that's the handler, the agent, right? He's always in the midst.
Or he's the top guy.
Yeah.
The guy that runs the door. You know, it's all the NBA owners. They're always going to be the ones bringing out the money.
Yeah, the record labels, all that stuff.
Okay, that's why they gave Diddy such a hard time when he was trying to buy an NFL team.
Yeah.
Right? Or like you said, Javon, what's it, that nigga Drew Rosenhaus? He seemed like he everybody agent now, man. Right? So they all funneling that money through these Amalekites.
It's a big ass fucking mind fuck. You start realizing how
Don't worry, you have to like
that's why
think about performance and all these things.
what point is it to be famous? Why would you want to be rich? I would prefer to keep Esau out my life. So if you gotta live just a quiet, life in the cut, that's better to stay like that, man.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 11. It says, "Wisdom is good with an inheritance." About you. Jump down to verse 12. "For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it." So what we see is Esau, like you said, they want to make sure that dollar, that retention of wealth stays within their hands. They don't want to allow Jake to develop that sense of feeling like they have the influence over their wealth. I saw this YouTube short of this film where he was basically like saying like, you have a lot of money unless you say fuck you. He was like, if I have my house paid for, I have my car paid for, if I have my bare necessities taken care of, fuck you. He said the military, they said fuck you. I'm the biggest military, I got the biggest economy in the world, fuck you. It was like that access to money, that's a real defense that allows you to pump up your chest a certain way.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why Esau won't allow Jake to get that shit without his influence in it.
Right.
Because that wisdom plus the money, when you have those together, that brings the kingdom. You're able to establish a kingdom that's self-sustaining. That's why Esau split the family up. That's why Esau, lose your mind. Everything to make it to where you can't be nothing without him. You had more on that slot?
Surah 13 and verse 6, it says, "If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee, and smile upon thee, and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou?"
Yeah, that's when he gets you in that room. Look, I can promise you, this is Satan. When Satan tried to have us all to that mountain,
you gotta have respect for that. And now that you're a contract worker.
and you gotta do is God needed me and this all be yours. This is what goes on in that, exactly, word for word in that room. Read that again.
Surah 13 and verse 6, "If he have need of thee,"
Yeah.
Surah 13 and 6, "If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee, and smile upon thee, and put thee in hope."
Yeah. Make you all these promises. I can, hey, you make this world's your oyster, man. Yeah, like that Rick Ross. Right, nigga trying to sign the contract, and nigga killed his damn son, man.
Yeah, that's another thing. If the son ain't a faggot, he getting sacrificed.
Yeah. It's one or the other.
You gonna give up something?
Man, he died either way. Because if he's gay, you can't bring another heir out.
Yep.
So either if he typically dead or he's gay. It's one or the other.
Yeah, you done X the seed out.
Yeah. Population control, man.
He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou?
What you want, man? What can I do to get your heart's desire?
Yep.
All right, that's why they'll give you, the drugs, alcohol, the women, water you up. So it's like, yo, they'll give you a taste of it before they actually give you. That's why they'll invite you to parties. They'll have you all around all the A-list celebrities. Like, yo, this is life right here, man. This is what it is to be famous. I want this. Go ahead.
And he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice, and at the last he will laugh thee to scorn. Afterward, when he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee.
Right. And after you didn't sign that contract, you didn't did whatever was in the contract for you to fulfill, and now it's time for you to re-up or get more. I ain't got nothing for you. Hey, you're no longer of use to me. You ain't, it's new blood out here, man.
You got flooded out. You compromised your integrity. You got turned into a little hoe. You got used up. Ran through, busted. Now you disgusted and you not to be trusted.
Jesus.
Bro, but that's the business of the devil, though, man. That's why the scripture in Proverbs, which shows you this wisdom of defense, the direct precept for that scripture talk about desiring not the king's meat. You're not supposed to sit there and covet all these things that he's supposed to promise you. Because if you know the other side of that, which they don't tell you about, if you can sign that contract, then they're going, you gotta go to the other room now. You get in there and they're gonna unzip your pants and shit. Nah, bro, fuck that, man. You gotta know what you're getting into. That's why it's better for you not even to be in that realm.
Yeah. His words are smoother than butter, but woe is in his heart, man.
Right.
It's always an ulterior motive.
And it's always meant to destroy you. That's the end goal, is to destroy you and take your conscience from you.
Disconnect you.
Right.
It's actually we have to go.
Cast them down to the heaven.
Yeah. Disconnect you from how much you never shot.
Right.
Your morals and your integrity.
Right.
If I may, add, just tying it back into that article that we read about this NWO, that's what he's doing to these average, everyday people. Trying to pull them in with those lying wonders, the sorcery, this technocracy, this better future.
The promise of forgiveness. That be God that deliverance.
You ain't got to worry about living again and all of that. You take care of your family for the rest of your life.
This is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 1. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat. If thou be a man, give it to appetite.
Hey, this is experience. It's kind of like Jacob Esau all over. And you got that pot in front of you, you hungry. You say you report that to people, so you put that meat in front of you, it's like, man, I'm hungry, man. You're sacrificing your birthright to take care of everything,
As you see, he referenced that in the scriptures of Hebrews. Not being any of us like Esau, roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah.
For one morsel of meat casted away his birthright. Nigga crashed out because he was hungry.
That's why that's the beginning. So that's something we're always supposed to think about. That is.
Just go hungry. That's why the Lord got to come back.
Wow.
Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 3, it says, "Be not desirous of his dainties,
Right.
but they are deceitful meat."
Yeah. What this devil has to offer is always deceitful.
It's a backside to it.
Yeah.
He'll give you the good up front, but leave the bad out of it after you already signed the life.
It's always a back door.
Right.
Fine print.
As we're saying, written in blood, right?
Yeah.
Verse 4, "Labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom."
Right. Labor not to be rich, because as you've been going through this whole lesson, we understand what the rich is something.
Yeah.
And Biggie said it, more money, more problems, right?
Get rich without trying. How many niggas lost their lives off foolishness by living by that ideology? Get rich without trying.
Jake goes so hard.
What's the end all of that? What happens to the riches?
nothing. They lose. Bro, it's so bad to where niggas are literally, niggas are literally find their life where they got a sacrifice in Hollywood called the 27 leftover thing. Where like you sign on to get that contract, and when you turn 27, they get you off. Like Juice WRLD. That's Juice WRLD was a part of it. And many other celebrities, and you look up. They'll be rich for the time being, and then when that age hit, they're gonna get off. That's why the record labels put the insurance policy on.
Maybe like all these, the actors, the studios got insurance policies on them. The athletes, the teams, and the organizations got insurance policies on them. Right, your job probably has an insurance policy on you. Every time you die, that money is always going to go back to Esau somewhere.
And it's crazy. They tell you Jason up front about this shit. But Jake be so desirous for that money that you don't even think about that shit actually coming to fruition until you see when that time about to come up. Like for example, like your dog, right? When he got off, what was he doing? He was trying to spread that money out, trying to give it to his family and different people. Because he knew he was about to die.
Verse 5. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven.
And that's what the elders just said. Where does that money go at the end of the day, bro? You gotta think about it. It's like this comedian, he made a joke with Elon Musk dealing with Elon Musk was like a stripper. It's like they show you love, when you on the stage, when it's time to get them, they come with that money. That's Jake. They be up there stripping, and when it comes down to if anybody get that money, they come with that cane. All that shit up for themselves. This is painful.
Because you really start to break down, like I broke down my pay from hour to minute to second. And then you look at how much money and wealth is being generated by these corporations. They're not paying you a fraction of what your actual work is, your output. You know?
The fact that they say that your time is worth X amount of dollars per hour, it is crazy.
They'll turn around and tell you, you should be thankful that you have this job.
Well, you got a job. Hey, what you applying for? You're able to feed your family, right?
Right.
That just shows you this man is together. That shit, if that's the case, then why don't you go off the law and we're supposed to be paid when some of it? Why we have to wait a week or 2 weeks or a month for people that got salaries to get paid and then you got your hands in it?
Or what's that period called where you don't get paid? What's it called as a term? Where you basically working for free.
Rollover? Furlough?
Is that what it's called? Yeah. It's like a discretionary period. So I don't know, I forgot something like that where like
A week in the hole or something?
yeah, like you'll work for a few weeks or whatever, but you don't get paid. You know?
No, why the fuck people do that? That's crazy.
You know, but Esau, the corporation gonna make the
Crazy.
money. You know what I'm saying? All the whole system, the whole system is wicked, man. You know? And a lot of Jakes are realizing that. They're like, look, it's impossible to live. Why do I even have a job? Why am I even working just for, crumbs?
Crazy had that rap back in the day saying, crazy how God gave us life and we gotta make a living. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be working, bro.
Right.
You know? And if we are working, like how the heathen gonna be doing in the kingdom, it's gonna be compensated the correct way. This nigga, he works to the fucking bone, and then he'll give you fun.
Yeah, you get your wages 2 weeks later.
And like I said,
Taxed on top of
he
that.
got his hands in it, and then he's so much of a devil. He was like, look, my hands were in it because I'm gonna give it back at the end of the year, and his shit's still taking a piece out.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, this is bullshit.
Nothing is just.
Nah, it's Sirach 10, and I believe it's what, verse 8 to the all the righteous dealings and rich down by the sea.
Yeah.
The kingdom shall be translated from one king to the
This
other.
kingdom is
This shit gotta go. This shit gotta go, man. And if you niggas that can't see that, you gotta go with it, man. No hands or that hand, the wicked shall not go on foot.
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 6. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats.
Yeah, because his meats is defiled. And you gotta look at it like how Daniel looked at it, and they was telling him, hey, king's meat, I'm not even close. Give me my daily necessities. I'm cool, bro. I don't need to do
Verse 7.
Because riches, let's say even take Esau out the picture. It's still a person because look how people treat you out there, man. They look at you as an ATM. You rich now, you ain't really never gonna find no real woman because all these bitches are gonna want you for their sex. You know, your family gonna look at you as a goddamn instrument.
Yep.
You know, people are gonna want to be friends with you because you got status and money.
Yep.
You ain't gonna have no real relationship with nobody.
See how when these people that win the lottery, when their life typically ends up worse or off right after they get all these millions of dollars.
Bow Wow
Turns into a
Rumba.
lottery ticket.
I'm broke. Hey, not to draw, but just look at that situation. That nigga Frankie Jackson in that movie was talking, that was his real life. And now look, he went and studied himself out in Babylon, found the truth, was an Israelite for a certain period of time. Now that nigga back in Hollywood, he can get that shit, man.
But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of fun, and like all the girls that I play with are upperclassmen.
Renting an Israelite. He cosplayed for a couple of years and went right back to that bullshit, man.
Yeah, he did, man. And then on top of that, when he met, he came across some brothers over in LA, man, and hey, you was an asshole, man. And when the Lord destroyed you, fucking nigga, man, you a demon, man. Nigga, have some
Yeah,
nice shoes
it's
on.
gonna like we get you know
It was
those
hard,
good
but yeah, fuck him, though,
summer
man.
stories.
Go ahead,
Proverbs 23:7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Yep.
Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with you.
And that's why going back to read in Matthew 6, man, your eye either be from the light, that your body be from the light. And your eyes, the darkness is the cares of this world. Then, hey, you gonna become like this world, man. And as you see the world's trending towards more dark, demonic, satanic shit, that's the direction people going, man.
Yeah.
Continuing on, verse 8. The morsel which thou hast eaten shalt thou vomit up, and loose thy sweet words.
Yeah, because you're gonna eventually lose all this stuff anyway. That's what the New World Order is all about, is you will own nothing and be happy. So to pretty much look at it, Esau gave the riches to be a snare to you. Because you're gonna be so tied to this place that when they take everything from you, the want of trying to be back to where you were, it's gonna make you do shit. That's why first God can tell you, love not the world and the things in the world.
Because these people really don't own anything now.
No.
And that's why, like the scriptures speak about the borrower is subject to the lender.
No.
These people that have a deep-rooted connection with this hegemony, when the system shifts over and Esau hangs that over their head as leverage to be able to enter into the NWO, they're gonna do it.
But like you said, you really don't own anything still, bro. Like, you don't own music no more. And the records, the CDs, everything's streaming. You don't own movies no more. They don't really put DVDs like that.
Niggas is leasing used cars. I see they are leasing a used car. I said,
Oh,
who do that?
Well, that's how like Macari and Poshmark and Play-Doh, see, all these, you're recycling. But this is the New Orleans talking about. Really, when you go into that shit goes back to home. I know that.
Well, leasing.
Like us, like buying used clothes. Like shit
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
That goes back to home.
This is the image.
You know?
The image is speaking.
Yeah, so you don't own shit. And this is going to get down further and further to where you don't own nothing else. You know? You don't own your house no more, farm. You don't even own your children. Shit, you don't even own yourself.
That's why this, like, going back to the top of the sermon, that's the beauty of this gospel. Because it really roots you in having a hope to looking for something. Because this report from on high is the only thing that's of substantial value to actually say, wow, I can have a future to look for. Because these people, they see the outlook of the earth today, and they like, this shit bleak. They just trying to stay in the spirit of optimism, but in the back of their mind, if they were so optimistic, then why would they be on drugs away? Why would the suicide rate be so fucking high? Depression.
It's all a form of escapism. It's why they do drugs and different things.
Exactly.
Suicide is the ultimate form of escapism. And then you do that, you're damning yourself. Commit suicide, that's a sin of yours. That's your life. And like you made mention, it's not giving us peace. taking your life, you pretty much telling the Most High He gave you mistakes and gave you prayer.
It's Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
All the possession of this world is corrupted. It's some point or another. Alright? So this is why you're not supposed to put your heart in these things. Not saying you can't own it. You still have shit, but you don't put your heart into it. Because if you lose it, that shit destroy your spirit, man. Right. Children, women, whatever, man. You love it, but that's not your world, though.
Right. The Lord give it and take it away.
Exactly.
Matthew 6 and 20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
Which is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Alright? Because this is what leads you to immortality. This is what leads you to having sovereignty. Because, like I said, wisdom gives you sovereignty. That's something that Esau doesn't want you to have. It places a value it gives you value. Man. Esau wants you to have value because of him. You know? But this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, he can't take from you. Only person that can take from you that is Yahweh Bashir Yahushai. Alright? Which is why he's constantly giving us examples of these different guys that he's getting back. That's the right thing. Because it's showing you that these guys are those treasures of wisdom. Right? Like it's supposed to. Like the lesson I just did yesterday, my responsibility party. Let that be a cautionary tale of what happened when so full leaf. You know, you see these niggas crash out because they wouldn't leave in the world. Well, look at that in the spiritual shit. You don't want to be like that in the spirit, man. You know? Hey, niggas in the shower crying and you goddamn got a bitch to cheat. This bitch about to leave you and cheated and so-called cheated on. You don't want to be looking like that in the spirit, man. True.
Everything on this side is going to pass away. Look at that. You know? About he that have a wife have a gun.
Oh, yeah.
That's he that have a gun. You know? And that's really the mindset that you got to take on this side. Right? You got it. You know? So all this shit is about to burn up. You know, we can't take it with us. Right? And we just getting by here, basically. We just pilgrims passing through, man. You know?
Serve our appendix as we travel to that whole.
That's it, man.
You know, so it's like they decide, and I made mention of it Saturday. These are all side missions. Right. They focus on the main thing, which is the kingdom of heaven.
Stay on the path.
So 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 29.
Yep.
But this I say, brethren, the time is short.
Yep. Shit. Time is short. Earth is speeding up faster than ever. All right. Different prophecies, these end-time prophecies are coming to pass. All right. Hey, peace, brother. The AI infrastructure, the pushing of the beast system and the chip, nuclear war, Jacob's trouble. Right. Time is short. Go ahead.
But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none.
Yeah. So you might physically have a wife, but your mindset is you don't have one. Right?
Yeah, you ain't trying to be the world's best husband.
Yeah, exactly. Father of the Year award and shit.
You love best dad.
No, yeah. That's it.
Walking out this shirt, I'm her.
That's it. Cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I saw that. That is hilarious, man.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a loser
God
shit.
damn.
Big time.
1 Corinthians 7 and verse 30. And they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not.
Yeah, ain't really nothing to rejoice about anyway, man. Hey, this society is trash. This shit suck, man. Everything's boring. Nothing's funny. Right? Entertainment is trash, whack.
But nothing is good no more. Shit, you can't even really have a good drink no more, bro. That shit's trash.
Yeah.
The food's trash. Like you said, you can't go nowhere.
Can't go nowhere.
Everything's expensive, man. You do pay for it. So, there's nothing
Like as if it
I
was
was my rib last night trying to find something to watch, right? Nothing.
Ain't nothing good to watch. TV is
There's
terrible.
nothing, bro. All these streaming services are playing for it. Ain't shit on it.
TV is fucking terrible. Hey, I got a friend that works for Direct TV. He said he laughs at niggas that still paying high ass prices for this trash ass TV, man. When he told me that, I was crying, man.
Shit.
He said it's unbelievable, man.
You find yourself watching YouTube more than anything.
Straight up.
Shit, I listen to podcasts and shit.
Hey, the Lord removing that spirit from Babylon. Like, just like you said, you just going straight to YouTube. You going to the information highway. The Lord said in the Apostles' Class. You ain't gonna have nothing else that's gonna be even resembling a sense of completion, like a fulfillment of your spirit outside of this truth. This is exciting information. This is the best watch of the week. You know. Right. You see a brother post breaking news. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's it. Real talk. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 7:30. They that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not.
So you get ready to lose it all. So if you're, like you were saying earlier, if your spirit is trying to hold on to everything, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose your life. Come on, man. They get ready to crash this shit, man. What is fashion at that point? What is entertainment at that point? Right? What is trying to keep up in the worldly trends? What is all that gonna mean at that point? Right?
Well, the only reason why the Lord said that too is because who was to say that your wife and children are going to make it?
Right.
So if the Lord kill them, they're not going to destroy the spirit.
That's real.
You know, they take the ship. They're not going to make it take it.
And the Lord told Ezekiel, I'm going to kill your wife.
They're not
Don't
cry.
cry.
That's why he said, hey, I declare that you be a man. Get up thy loins like a man. I declare
You speak about that often. Champion.
yeah. So that's up for man. Be a champion. To overcome. Conquer. Because that's man's natural inclination is to be conquered. They show you in old movies like Conan the Barbarian and different things like that. That's how we're supposed to be now. The spirit is in us to do that because we have the house shot with him. It said that Romans 8 chapter.
Finish that.
Oh, okay.
1 Corinthians 7:31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passes away.
I love it.
All right, that's what we're seeing. Yeah, too, man. But we're watching the fashion of this world, the current state, the mind frame, right? The customs, the cares, all these things are about to be wiped off the face of existence, man. Right? So why would you tie yourself to this in a manner that you couldn't release from? Right? That's what you see Jake doing when they heap these riches unto themselves. They're putting themselves in a position where they're not going to want to release from these places. Right? They're going to be in a place of having those withdrawals, right, from the conveniences of this life, from the perks that they so-called got.
Right. You got to think about it. Go back to Martin Luther King. What was the last thing he said before the altar? He said, like he was bringing his people to a burning building. Jacob's been in this condemned building for all these years trying to furnish it, pretty it up. This shit is burning. It's about to be destroyed. So why continue to try to stay here? You know? Yeah, I was thinking that in my mind. It's fine.
I remember that the elder I talked to, he had made mention of this.
Okay, everything's like that.
In the camp, and he was talking about how brothers bringing out this information is basically like we're condemning them. You know, what's the name of the people that actually the inspectors? We did a lesson on that before, the general contractors. We're like the general contractors for the Lord. Like we're looking at the foundation of the home. Like, oh hell, no, that shit ain't up to code at all. Because we measuring it according to the will of the Lord. We measuring it up against the ordinances of Most High. And we're like, oh, no, this shit. No, we're going back to the Lord. Look, they got this going on, that going on. You got to condemn this building.
And especially raising F.
Hold on
F
to the
plus
fucking
plus.
balls.
Can't breathe.
You got roaches, fucking inflation shot, so it's all fucked up.
God,
That's those.
damn, man.
You got goddamn family possums and raccoons and shit in there. It's done.
And Jake like, this is my home. This is home. This is all I know.
Niggas say, man, he used to, like that video of Diddy talking about he woke up to have like 15 roaches on his face. They're cool with that shit. He said that shit again.
And look what the Lord trying to give you. The Lord said, in my Father, I go to prepare a place for you. In my Father's place is many mansions. Let's paraphrase. So the Lord taking us from rags to riches, and niggas is like, no, what's better than rags? You gotta destroy that nigga, man.
Drake said that. I can't see heaven being better than this.
Yeah, we stay here.
This? This? Yeah, my soldier boy.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, that shit trash. This shit trash, bro. If you got any type of sense about yourself, you want to get the fuck out of here. I want to be able to raise my family up in a righteous place to where I ain't got to worry about my family being about this bullshit. You know?
Romans chapter 8 and verse 1 says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahawashai, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit.
Right. Going back to what we said earlier about showing yourself to be a man. Because if you are a true man, don't start with that. The only way you can be a true man is truth. Because you see the type of men this society produces, soy boys, man. These niggas are ruled by their women, all right? Losers. You know, they have no type of kingdom mentality, man. Rob. You know, they losers out here, man. All right? Hey, to be a real man is to have his truth, man. To strive for righteousness, man. You know? To want the kingdom of heaven. And the most important thing is the fear of the Lord, man. Hey, if you talk to any man or woman and they have no reverence or fear for the Lord, get the fuck away from them. Those are reprobates. And they have the power to pollute you.
Romans 8 and 37. Yea, in all things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us.
Reiterating the point I made. All right? We are more than conquerors through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Right? Because the Lord gave us the power to overcome any obstacle that came upon us. You have to have that belief in it. No? I can do all things through Mashiach. So we are, like I was saying, the Lord has already told us the victory is already written for us. He said that I have overcome the world. And I'll written unto you because you have already overcome the world. You just have to play it out.
You just got to endure.
That's it.
Very instant. He that endured to the end of the city, that's it, man. Because you're going through the spirit of us to endure these oncoming afflictions and trials.
That's it.
You know? Because then we got it like Acts 14:22. You got to go through tribulation in order to achieve the kingdom of heaven.
You got to struggle, man. And as I've been learning the last month or so, man, you got to embrace that vision. You got to embrace something. So make your body do shit you don't want to do. You know, eat better. Eat shit you don't want to eat. Push yourself in the gym. Give yourself little goals to aspire to go for. You got to do the shit you don't want to do. Those are building blocks to help you prepare for the better.
Romans 8 and verse 38. For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Hamashiach Yahawashai our Lord.
Right, so there's nothing of this world that should be able to take you out the truth at the end of the day. Right? If you're of the Lord's elect, the Lord is going to allow you to gain the victory. It's written in the
fussing at people.
like the other thing, you have to endure and play it out. Right? So that's what it comes down to is put the kingdom first, and all things shall be added unto you.
That's it, man.
Lord willing, you brothers and sisters, edify, we'll close out. Give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh.
double honor to our apostles and others, great wisdom and intelligence. We'll keep the same thing to the elect and